Meerkats, brand new villagers, and the fletching table. So Mojang's got this secret list of features, known as their ideas bank, that they plan on definitely putting into the game at some point. We just don't know when. It could be later in 1.21, or it could be all the way in Minecraft 1.40. Now for the most part, this ideas bank list is top secret information. We probably don't know most of it, but we do know some of it. It's the end of the year, the best time than ever to look to the future. So today, that's the exact plan. Here is everything on Mojang's planned feature list that we currently know about. This first one is probably one of my favorites. As a builder, I always love me a good brand new wood type. Eventually, at some point, palm trees will make it into the game, and probably when they do, they'll end up looking a little bit something like this. Interestingly, the palm trees will not be located on the beach. They'll be located actually in the desert biome. Yeah, so the origin story for a lot of the features that we're going to take a look at today is completely different. The origin story for this one takes us back to 2018. In one of the more known backlog features, palm tree wood will eventually make it into the game. And when it makes it into the game, I mean, it'll be a brand new type of wood. The good old-fashioned tinfoil hat is not needed for any of these features today. These are all confirmed things, but if we put it on for a minute, knowing a little bit about palm trees, it probably seems like at some point, when these things are added to the game, coconuts or some form of them will be added as well. The palm trees are pretty cool, but you know what could be even more cool? Meerkats. Meerkat, sweet meerkat, look at this thing. This is one of the most beautiful looking mobs of all time. Now, what does the meerkat do? Well, it appears it likes to dig into sand and disappear. It's completely gone. With the addition of the armadillo in Minecraft 1.21, I personally feel like the meerkat is more likely than ever before to be added to the game. The meerkat will run around inside of the desert. Hey, it's not me. I didn't hit it. That wasn't me. To be clear, I would never hit a meerkat, especially such a small, adorable one. That definitely wasn't me. So I gotta be honest, I probably lied. I said the meerkat and the palm tree is gonna come to the desert. I don't know about that. Instead, we're much more likely to see the meerkat, the palm tree, and whatever that is up on the palm tree be implemented into the game in a different way. We know for sure that Mojang thinks the desert is a little dry and dusty, needs an update. So logically, when they update the desert biome, well, logically, they're probably not gonna update it. Instead, all of these brand new cool desert features are likely to be pulled off just like how they pulled off the mangrove swamp biome in 1.19, with a brand new oasis biome being added to the game. Feature number 4 on our little to-do list here today is a very infamous one. The fletching table. The fletching table, added to the game in Minecraft 1.14. A total of going on 7 updates ago now, the fletching table was added to the game. This poor table. The barrel. At the time, it was a brand new type of storage. Really cool looking, too. The lectern, of course, is a book stand. You can put a book in it. The cauldron, water, lava goes inside of it. The smithing table, I mean, it got 2 updates, but initially it was just for netherite. In 1.20, it became for trim as well. And then there's the poor fletching table. One of the many villager workstations added to the game back in Village and Pillage. And unfortunately, until this very day right here, the only thing it does is, well, sit there and look and be a villager workstation. It definitely feels like, with 1.21 finally being a combat update and all, this could be the update for the fletching table. I mean, very clearly, looking at the side of this thing, we can see a bow and an arrow and a target and feathers and everything like that, so very clearly it's like arrow related. Maybe this is where we'll end up adding effects to an arrow. After all, the devs have to know that all these arrow types right here, as cool as they are so slept on. Maybe they're gonna rework the whole system with a combat update. A good chunk of the way into the list today here, laddies, and I'd like to play a little game. I think I got every single feature on their to-do list. At least I think. If you can come up with a feature that I missed, throw that down in the comments below, and you will win this diamond. Also, tap that like button. Thank you. Speaking of the fletching table, though, we've got one that is actually, potentially, maybe almost here already, because it partially is. Villagers. The devs are apparently very unhappy with how villagers currently function inside of Minecraft. In fact, they're so unhappy to the point of wanting to basically entirely redo some of these villagers and how they work. The wandering trader, for example, eventually will actually buy things from you as well as sell you more and better things at a better price. Meanwhile, the villagers over here, we got 3 different types that have had an overhaul already. The librarian villager getting biome locked enchantments, the armorer villager being completely redone, and the cartographer villager actually being able to sell us maps to different spots in the world. If this list were being ranked in like 1.21 likelihood, I would feel like this one is relatively high up, maybe even spot number 1. Also, these changes only currently affect 3 out of the many villager types and the wandering trader. It definitely feels like there's a lot more here. So let's go back to that desert biome overhaul for a minute, because look at this thing. This is beautiful. Look at how cool it could look. We got different trees, different fruits on the trees, and I mean just a much cooler looking desert. What about off on the horizon over there? Out of all the pending biome chooser votes, I feel like the savanna biome one is probably the most likely one to come in 1.21. Alright, so over here we have something fascinating going on. And maybe the most interesting part of this potential savanna biome update is the termite and the termite mounds that'll make it to the game. So we've got no clue how these things will actually end up working when implemented fully in game, but at least in my opinion, I feel like the most obvious one is potentially stripping wood. I mean, who knows, maybe even stripping wood of the brand new baobab tree. Look at this thing. It's like the dark oak tree times like, I mean, you put the boy on overdrive. You make it nice and tall and strong and really, really giant. It's like a 3x3 tree, and it's inside of the savanna biome. So over here, check this out. We've got a termite mound that naturally generated over here next to this tree. The termites, these little particles right here, they basically run around and look around for wood to try and eat. Give it a little bit of time, and eventually, maybe the termite wanders over to the tree, and slowly but surely will eat the bark off of the tree, basically automatically stripping the log off of the tree. Now, these termites, they can only move so far, which means, like, if you have a termite mound, maybe it's like 10 blocks out in every direction. It'll run around and strip the logs. The Wilder Wild mod, oh, this is an amazing mod. It's done a little bit differently, too. In the Wilder Wild mod, if you place the termite mound down, it gets even more powerful, and it can actually, like, chew all the way through a log and make it hollow as well. Now, a hollow log, I mean, if I wanted to count this artwork in today's video, then maybe it's on the to-do list, but more on it later. But I wanted to keep it a little bit more, like, realistic, with stated features. So keeping it a little bit more real, all the way back to 2018 again, to the ostrich, the long-legged, weird-necked dinosaur. It's the modern T-Rex. Like, literally, I'm convinced of it. Dino birds aside, ostriches are coming to the game. So this next one is another one of those features that I feel like totally could end up making it to the game in 1.21. In fact, it would almost make too much sense. So we all know and love how Minecraft 1.21 is literally a combat update. They said it themselves. Combat update. All the way back when 1.16 was the main version, 1.15, the combat test update was being tested with completely different combat mechanics, including much better reach for long weapons and like different hit timings. We also had this brand new enchantment that was added to the game called the chopping for axes. Now these combat test snapshots, they were all over the place. They added a lot of different things, including, you notice anything about the snowballs? Yeah, when I hold the snowballs, it goes into a stack of 64 now, instead of a stack of 16. Oh, but wait, there's more. Check this out, honey bottles. Aha. So overhauling the entire combat system, that's going to be a big process that's going to require quite a bit of development time, probably. In fact, if the devs wanted to take on such a big task, they would probably need to wrap up all of the other Minecraft 1.21 features so they would have time to focus on the combat, get feedback and everything, and oh wait a second. You're telling me they've already done that? They've finished everything else for 1.21 that we know of? Oh. So clearly, some of Mojang's to-do list is like seemingly really far away. Like we don't even have anything in the game quite yet, just a mention of the idea. Other parts of this to-do list are very potentially close. Or at least they felt close for years. The bundle, the sweet bundle, and maybe one of the most infamous modern entries to this Mojang Ideas Bank list is the sweet bundle. It's so close but so far away. As you probably know, as I probably love, the bundle is already partially implemented over on Minecraft Java Edition. On Java Edition, with the help of the experimental toggles, we can put the bundle in the game and feel the bundle in the game. It feels amazing, romantic, dramatic, and very useful. It's not entirely clear as to why the bundle has warmly been waiting to be fully added to the game for literally 3 years now, but I mean at some point they've got to add it, right? So another huge chunk of our Mojang to-do list here comes from the past, except not as far in the past this time, 4 years ago. 4 years ago, biome vote between the mountains, the swamp biome, and the badlands biome. Fast forward, and we've got 2 of them. Out of about 3 things over in this biome, the first big thing that'll be added when the badlands is beautified is a brand new type of cactus known as the prickly pear cactus. This cactus is totally giving brand new food, or at the least, brand new camel food. I mean, come on, take a look at this thing in real life. That thing, That looks absolutely scrumptious. And no, like, legit, actually, I believe this is a fruit. This grows on the cactus, and you could take it off, and you could eat it. I love how it's done in the Biome Backlog mod, a mod that adds in all of this different, like, biome stuff into the game. It's so cool looking. Like, we bone meal it, grow it up. That's a beautiful looking model right there. Being a new type of cactus, though, you know how it goes. You have to be careful. You walk up to it and punch it, you take a little bit of damage. Now, another thing that'll be added in this Badlands update is this sweet tumbleweed plant. This is the one that I'm very curious about. Like, how is this actually going to work? Over here, we have a tumbleweed. From time to time, inside of the Badlands biome, you'll find a tumbleweed, you'll be able to grow up the tumbleweed, and then eventually the tumbleweed will just break off and start to basically like blow around the biome. It's pretty crazy. You can take the tumbleweed seeds and plant them literally anywhere, bone meal them, and well, that's like just about it. It's essentially Dead Bush 2.0. This is one that I'm so curious about. Like, how is this actually going to end up working once implemented into the game? Will it end up just being a static plant, or will it literally roll around like it did in the trailer when they first showed it off? It kind of feels like this whole tumbleweed thing could be part of a greater weather update, but they never really said they wanted to do a full weather update. Moving on, where did you go? Sweet flying friend, sweet frying friend. Alright, so the vulture, for many reasons, including dancing, is one of my favorite backlog features of all time. I mean, imagine being able to walk around into the Badlands biome and you see like a vulture on the ground dancing like that, sets the tone, and then you start moving yourself, and then all of a sudden, up in the sky, maybe a little bit higher than this, you see vultures circling around. When the vulture was initially showed off like 4 years ago, there was mentioned something about it like wanting to pick up items and play around, maybe have a little bit of fun. Being scavengers, that makes so much sense. Maybe they fly around, they see an item on the ground, they say, hey, that looks pretty nice. They swoop in, grab it, and go back up off to the sky. After that, it becomes a question of morals and ethics. What in the world will you do ever to get that item back from that poor, sweet bird? Nearing near the end of our list today, for this list, I wanted to do two different things. Thing number one, pick the credible ones. Like maybe somewhere offhand, way back in 2009, the dev said, hey, yeah, we'd like to eventually add weather. If I was gonna look through everything a dev said, literally everywhere, like an iceberg or something, this would be a really, really long video giant list. So I wanted to pick ones that are actually like seemingly kind of credible. I also wanted to pick ones that are like at least decently significant. This next one, I'm going to do it in a little bit of a different way, but parody. Of course, the devs want to add parody to the game. We got Minecraft, except it's not really all Minecraft. I mean, it's all Minecraft, but it's not all exactly the same kind of Minecraft. The banner maps, for example. On Minecraft Java, banner maps exist. On Minecraft Bedrock, they do not. Same with the sweeping edge enchantment. If you want to talk about parody, this entire video could be about parody. Minecraft Java Edition has a lot of differences. Minecraft Bedrock has a lot of differences. For this one, I'm just going to lump it all into one category and say some things are different on both versions of the game. The devs clearly, eventually want to make everything exactly identical on both versions, but it's probably years off from the looks of this list. Last but not least, I want to keep it credible. And for the biome votes that we already took a look at, they very clearly stated that the losers will end up being updated at some point. They proved it with the swamp biome update, a loser that ended up getting updated. With the different mob votes that unfortunately never made it to the game, they basically just said, well, yeah, we like the idea of them. If they fit in the future, they'll get at it. Unfortunately, for every single mob vote loser, their fate is a little bit more uncertain. In fact, like, I didn't even know if I should include them in the list because they never necessarily said 100% the Isolager will get added to the game, just like the Desert update. This one makes me so sad. A wishful, hopeful, dreamy version of me says, man, these votes would be so fire if, like, the winner gets added in the next update. Meanwhile, the losers, they will get added in, like, the update after or something like that. Including this year's losers, the penguin and the crab, there are so many mobs in this whole mob backlog. But they never really said they'll come to the game for sure. If you'd like to see a dedicated piece on all these mobs that'll maybe eventually come to the game, leave a like on this video, and oh boy, I could totally cook that up, because I mean, listen to this thing. It's amazing. That is so perfect. And so, every feature on Mojang's to-do list. How'd I do? Did I miss one? If I did, call it down below. This video is part of this year's list week. Has been kind of all over the place, but for more of list week, maybe check out this one next. It was pretty fire. Every single mod that I used in today's video will be linked down in the description below. Check them all out. Big shout out. If you'd like access to special world downloads, tap that join button for more info. Until next time, it's Ben B. Waddles. I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.